G'day everyone, James here with JWN Lawn Care and Landscaping, bringing you another video. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I am doing some random stuff with my trailer today because I felt like it. Didn't really have much else to do, so yeah, I sat out here and messed around. I've been cutting up some more CF3 Pro line. I don't know if I put up the video yet. I don't think I did. I've got a whole bunch of videos for you guys and I need to find time to edit them. New use for the brake thing. Sit down there. Of course I won't do that actually because it'd fly off and what have you, but that's pretty new. I didn't realise that actually worked like that. But yeah, stops it from going all over the place. Been using this for a couple of weeks now. It's pretty nice stuff, I have to say. It's 2.7mm, 0.105 inch, 172 metres, so 564 feet. So I've basically been cutting this up like I do with the 2.4mm stuff. Cut it into little rolls, roll them up, tape them, ready to go. Nice and easy, stick them in there, away you go. Still got a few left, the 2.4, so I'm just going to be I've got, and oh, I need to do that one too. I've been running this on most of mine now, as the 2.4 ran out of them in our last week or two of mowing. I've then been replacing it with the 2.7 just to try it out. I don't think I put this video yet either, but kindly Rob, Ashburton Mowers, gave me a little Bushranger. Here we go. Wow. There she is. This is the L261 Bushranger. Engine's by Maruyama. So it's a, can't see, it's a bloody, I don't know, 25cc engine. Pretty light, really like it. I guess kind of comparable to the FS94 sort of, Shindaiwa DH230, that sort of range. It's got the speed feedy sort of head on it, guard, and a washer thing here. They've put metal washer so it doesn't wear out the head as fast. I think it's a pretty neat addition. I particularly like this style of speed feed. Just feels a bit more kind of stiff. I like my ones, the Shindaiwa ones, a bit better. There's massive blisters on my feet, you can see. That's what ice skating does to you folks. Don't quite know why I asked one of my good friends if she'd like to go again then, but because we only went a few days ago because one of my other friends is an avid ice skater. I mean, it's pretty fun. But yeah, I need to let these heal up first because it just happens every time. But yeah, so Bushranger, we've been using this for a week or two now as well. Really like it. I mean, the guard just makes life miserable anyhow. Don't like this. I'd take that off. I'd put a proper speed feed on, I guess. But apart from that, it's a really nice trimmer. Don't like I hate these things. It infuriates me. They do have a throttle lock, but it's basically useless because I think it's only really meant to be used for starting, because when it's like that, it hardly even has it at idle, so it doesn't even spin the head really. I think it's pretty useless. Same with this one. I actually brought this out. It's my old redneck edger, if you guys remember. Seafood fire up, and it does. Still burns fine. I'll quickly start up for you. Yep. There it goes. And so, still works good. Old Kawasaki for you, Shingu. It's been sitting for months, and still goes alright with a bit of fresh fuel in it. I'll quickly fire up this for you, just so you can hear it. It is again the Maruyama engine, so it might sound familiar to a few of you US guys. Jeez, whoop. Not too much success with this. Yeah, let's try the throttle lock. Jesus. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, it's a bit temperamental. I mean, it does good. You can see what I mean about the throttle lock. That's on throttle lock right there. See, it doesn't even do it, and there we go, carks it again. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. It's a decent trimmer. Lays a nice edge, but yeah. Would I buy one? Given what I've already got, no. If I was starting out and I needed a new trimmer, would I buy one? Probably. They're a pretty nice machine, right? I like it. I think they're pretty decently priced. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think they're around $450, $500. It's kind of ballpark. With line, so you guys might be saying quickly, oh, you know, why do you pre-cut your line? You just keep the spool on your trailer, and you know, when you run out, just go back and cut a new one fresh and stick it in. It only takes 5 minutes or whatever. Yes, but here's the thing. It means I then need to store this in the trailer, where I'm already pretty limited on storage, as you can see. I mean, sometimes it sits in here, but yeah, I can't do that with my big 2.4mm one. And also, yeah, only takes 5 minutes, but that 5 minutes for me, if you're a solo operator, maybe it doesn't make much of a difference, but for me, 5 minutes at a job, that's basically another half of a small lawn that I miss out on, taking 5 minutes to do this. Now, I'm sure there's guys out there that can do it in 2 or 3, whatever, but still, you get the drift, right? If you have to do that 2-3 times in a day, that's then a whole mid-size lawn that you miss out on doing, or that you could have done in the time that you're recutting trimmer line. So, for the few minutes at home when I don't have anything else to do, to sit here and pre-cut a whole bunch, I normally do way more than this. I've only got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I've only got 9 or 10 pre-cut here at the moment. I'd normally do 10 to 15, and that will last us a week or two. It's just so much easier. And it's for the guys as well when they're out with me. It's a lot easier for me to just say, oh, just out of string, go to the trailer, grab the thing out, cut it open, feed it through, wind it up, you know the rest, right? And off you go again, rather than, oh, I'll come with you, got to measure out this much, this many hand lengths, and then you go cut it with these things, and then it's just, it's too much mucking around, okay? And the other thing with it is, you get this. So when I did just have this spool sitting in there before this is the first time I'm pre-cutting the 2.7, but this is what you end up with, right? And same thing with the 2.4. So otherwise, I've already gone at home previously, and I've measured out, I've checked in to see how much each, you know, head can take. So obviously, you know, I can take so much I can take this amount in the speed feed 450s we use. This here fills up a speed feed 450. This here basically does the equivalent. I haven't measured it exactly, but I measured these to capacity. I checked how much I could fit in, and then trimmed off excess, and that was because you can kind of feel when it's getting really full, it starts getting tight, and that's when you're at your capacity. So I trimmed it off at that point, and this is how much that is. This, because it's a little bit thicker line, I did a little bit shorter, but I mean, really you could do about the same and then you'd be alright anyhow, I think. But yeah, this here, guys, it saves you doing this, because if you've already done it once and then you know the right length, so I keep those two here, I'm going to keep these two, I keep these with the spools, so they're my guide as to how much I need to pull out, like, you know, get out of the, how much I need to take and then cut. So I do the same thing here, I just hang them there. Got my little line cut thing, don't really use that anymore, but this is 434 meters, right? I can't fit that in my trailer. So I get the guide one, these, and I put the two ends next to each other, so I go like that, and I basically just start drawing it out until I get I get enough off this that's the same length that matches this. I go, right, that's my amount. Grab the things, cut it off, bit of tape around them, tape it up, in you go. Easy. It eliminates that wastage, because you'd be surprised at how many meters of excess you trim off in the space of a year. I actually think it'd be a lot more than most guys think it would be. So it saves on that. And the other thing is, again, just back to the time thing. When you're like me and you're really busy, you're already on tight time constraints because I got schoolwork and everything else to manage. If you spend an extra 10-15 minutes each day that you're out mowing, having to stop at job sites to refill your trimmer head, and that equals out to a small job or whatever, that you get to the end of the day and you don't have any time to finish it, that last job, because you've taken too long on the others. That could, especially in my scenario with I can really only mow on weekends, so if I don't get them done this weekend, I either got to pray to God that I can do it sometime after school and my parents are around to drive me after school someday during the week, to finish that job off, or it has to be pushed back another week. And for some customers, that could mean them saying, if they're picky enough or whatever, and enough's enough, we'll find someone else. So what seems like a relatively, minor thing could end up losing you customers if you're tight on time. So yeah, just pre-cutting, it's easier. I like it that way. Makes more sense for me and how I run things here. Now, a quick thing, what's the best trimmer head? A lot of stuff going around about what heads to use. A lot of guys use the speed feeds. A lot of guys I see actually use the Stihl kind of ones as well, and also the Husqvarna ones. Apparently they're really good. I've used the Husqvarna one before, I think, once or twice, but haven't used it in depth and not for my business. And they're just your standard tap and go heads. They're not easy refill like these. Now, some guys out there like Martin from Mowing and Growing are saying they actually don't go through as much line. How that works, I'm not too sure. In terms of like you're using the same line, maybe it's a thing with like the head diameter makes it spin a different speed, wears it out faster, or what, I don't know. Now, if you've either got guys who are really good, really fast, or whatever, and are able to swap those out really quick, take the head apart, refill it from the inside, clip it back on, and away you go. That's awesome. But for guys that are starting out especially, and employees in general, or if you need to get through things fast, these are the way to go in my opinion, because they're a lot more hassle-free and there's way less mistakes to make with them. So it's a lot easier to train guys to say, get a thing of line out there, cut the tape, pull it out, feed one end through one eyelet, out the other eyelet, even them up, wind the thing in, off you go. Then you've got to unclip this here, and then you've got to get these two bits and then wind them around like this. Make sure you don't get them twisted, this and that, and again, it's time, right? More time to refill those. I can refill one of these in 15 to 20 seconds, easy. So yeah, I don't mind if I go through a bit more line, because I'm using those, but it's just the efficiency for me is what's key. Might as well talk about how I'm finding this line, I guess, thinking of trimmer line. It's really nice. It's quieter, I think, in terms of the noise that you get. It's pretty cool. Cuts well, lays a nice edge. I haven't had a chance to use it tons because again I've only had it a week or two, but it seems pretty nice. One thing I don't like about it is I really wish they sold it in larger spools, because this at 172 meters, not only does this not last me nearly as long, like I go a year on one of the 434 meter spools of 2.4 mil, but this at 172 meters basically cost me the same as 434 meters of the 2.4 just round orange line, so it's expensive. So yeah, I mean, and that's about $80-90 right? And I don't mind paying that for quality, but yeah, it's expensive and not tons. I'd prefer getting it in 200-300 meter spools if I could. But yeah, it's enough about that. Talked about that. Yada yada yada. Loving the BG86 still. It's awesome. We're coming up. I did have one subscriber recently ask me, comment on one of my videos. I know it seems his comments disappeared, but he was asking for a video on how to start the BR700. I mean, it's pretty straightforward to me, and this is why I love my Stihl equipment, because with the semi-automatic choke system, it's basically impossible for newbies or whatever to flood them. So with your more, conventional Shindaiwas like the Maruyama, this one here, because the choke is manual, it's very easy to stay pulling on this for ages with it still up and just be flooding the machine completely, and then go, oh, it needs to be, and then have to pull it for a blue age. Whereas with these ones, you put the choke on, and when the machine has enough fuel and air in there to fire up, it fires up. You hit the throttle lever and it takes it off choke, so there isn't an easy way that you can flood these machines, and that goes for the 94, the 91, the 86 or 56. Basically all of their range now have the semi-automatic choke system on them. I think it's pretty nifty. So I know how this guy said it took over 20 minutes to start a BR600. Only thing I can think of is that it could be if they had the air filter. There's a little thing inside the air filter there which you can switch this thing over so it allows more or less air in for summer and winter. That's really only if you're operating like really cold climates, like if it gets to snow season in America or whatever. That's the only really time you'd need to use it. It doesn't get cold enough here in Australia for us to need to chuck that on, so I've always just used it with this. I've had this for a little bit over a year now, and it's got 31.4 hours, so you can see how much time it's saved me because it hardly gets used. But look, for the sake of this guy, I'll quickly start it up. I'll click here. So I mean, honestly, this hasn't been started in when was the last time I mowed? I can't remember. Last weekend. Either way, it hasn't been started for a good few days, right? So it's stone cold. Oh, that's dirty as. There. Yeah, finger on there, muffler. So it's definitely not warmed up. And my finger is definitely filthy now. That's alright. And yeah, so I mean, you can prime these. You don't really need to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But otherwise, choke it, then prime. So we'll give it, I don't know, try to get 6 primes in there. Sometimes when you're just pressing it, it's not really getting all that stuff in yet, so just keep pushing it until you can actually feel fuel going through. That's a mistake a lot of people make often with these. They just press it because it says prime 10 times and they go oh, that's 10, off we go. But especially for like a brand new machine, that 10 primes hasn't even allowed fuel to start getting into the carburetor. So they've pressed it 10 times but still no fuel's in there. So you actually need to press it until you see fuel starting to come through, and then 10 times from there. So I mean, maybe that'd solve a lot of problems. Bloody cockatoos. Right, so chokes on, primed. Let's see how this goes. And remember, you can either manually flip this back, or you hit the throttle. I'll probably just do it from here because it's easier. But let's see, give her a pull. One pull wonder. Doesn't even need half choke. You can sometimes, if it's a bit warmed up but it's a cold day and it hasn't been properly warmed up, you can put it on half choke there, but I basically never use that. No, it's not really needed for these machines. It's kind of with the 4 mixers, it's either cold enough that you need to have full choke, or it's warm enough that you can just start it as it is. Sometimes I start this thing up and I don't even choke it, and it still fires up in 1 or 2 pulls. For the sake of it, I'll show you the 91 as well, because it's also a pretty good starter. And, oh, what the hell's happened there? Let's see, it's not empty. It's this is something I've noticed happens with the speed feeds as well. Sometimes, guys, it just get caught out one side but not out the other. So sometimes it like fuses inside. That's a bit annoying. With this one, how many hours have we got on this now? 26.4, and we got it in October last year. So, I mean, this more gets used for cleanups, but still gets used for other stuff too. Let's see how it goes. I'll show you guys. Same thing with this one, still hasn't been started in a few days. I'll see how it goes without choke. We might choke it though at the end of the day. So I'm not going to hold the throttle or anything, I'm just going to straight pull it. Alright, maybe we do give it a little bit of throttle. Okay, so that was a nice fantasy, wasn't it? Sometimes it will just fire straight up, but let's put choke on full, and so you can see fuel in that primer bulb there. So that's 6 primes with fuel actually in the bulb. Often I see people doing first start videos on cheaper equipment where they've, and even some Stihls and so on, where there's very clearly nothing in there at all, and it says push the primer bulb 7 times, and so they push it 7 times, there's still nothing coming in, because you've got to push it a good kind of 10 to 15 times sometimes to actually draw enough fuel up into the carburetor to start filling the primer bulb. And they go, oh yeah, that's enough. And they sit there pulling it for a blue age, but because there's no fuel in the carburetor, it doesn't want to start. And so they go, oh, it's so useless, terrible piece of equipment. And I'm like, buddy, just, you know, use it properly and it'll start. Anyhow, so let's see how it goes with that. No holding the throttle, because it's got that auto choke, so it'll give it a bit of throttle anyhow. But I will hit the throttle once it starts up. Let's see how it goes now. Oh, jeez, this isn't too good. Kind of throw up my lawn a bit. Okay. Damn you. Damn you. I should have known better than that. That is one not so great thing about having no guard. If I start that up, see if the cord, where the cord reaches to, hardly hits that grass there, but with this, it's free to go wherever it likes. Sometimes when Dad used to start this, he'd have his earmuffs on, he'd just leave the choke on, and so the head would be going all over the place and nearly hit me in the leg a number of times. You got to take it off choke so it doesn't do that, so it stops the head spinning, you know. Otherwise, to counter that problem, what I normally do, I either start it on concrete, because that doesn't get as much grip on this, so it normally stays better, or I hold it kind of like here. I hold it a bit in the air so that it doesn't, oh, what the hell is that? So it doesn't get me. But yeah, you might have heard that rattling just before. That's just this bit up here. It's a bit loose, but that's fine. I've really loved this trimmer. It's well worth it if you do a lot of overgrowns, I reckon. Yeah. But yeah, so really good trimmer there. It's awesome. But yeah, so that's how you start Stihl engines. As you can see, dead easy. You can't really bugger it up unless you do what I did before and try to be stupid. But yeah, they're so simple. I love them, and I'm gonna keep using them while they keep working for me until they don't. And while I've still got good dealer support, I'm gonna keep buying Stihl because no one else in this area offers good dealer support. And even if they do, certainly not to the level that Stihl does. So that's why I choose these guys, because yeah, Rob up there, his team at Ashburton Mowers, they're just awesome to me. You know, anything and everything I need for any of my machines, I always try and go through them. Think of the one time that I couldn't recently. I'll show you quickly. Where is it? Here it is. I did this to one of my saws the other day, cutting a big log. I know, turns out it's a crappy bar anyhow, and a crappy chain. So $330 later, I got a new 20-inch bar put on the 046 and a new, this is a carbide chain apparently. So it's this is the thing that came in. This is the old chain in there, piece of rubbish. Oleomatic Duro. This is the one, bunch of gibberish on there I don't understand. And I also, apparently these ones, you can't sharpen yourself, you need to, Swiss made, there you go, very well done. Apparently you need to go to a dealership to get these sharpened. So I thought, alright, well just in case, let's see how it goes, because this tree trunk was so thick. I was basically blunting my saw in the space of 15 minutes. So, you know, I thought, if I can't sharpen that myself, I'll buy a chain that I can sharpen. If this one turns out to go dud and go blunt on me, I can still switch it out to a sharpenable chain that I can use. But yeah, this stuff is awesome, man. It slices through it like butter. It was just going straight through. So much better. So actually, while I was in the shop, they had it sitting on the floor, and a young girl and her dad, their little brother, walked in. And the girl ran over to the other side of the shop, and as she didn't see the saw sitting on the ground. She tripped over on the engine side, I think, and fell over and started crying, and everyone's going, "Oh, you're alright," and everything else. And as I'm walking out, like the what's his name, the shop service bloke, he came over, he's like, "Oh, lucky you didn't get the chain, at least it's a very sharp one." And I said, "Yep, been there, done that, got the promotion." Because those things will cut you up bad, guys, without even being running. I'm sure you guys remember when I was putting the chain on this, actually, right here, this little bugger, as I was putting this together, the pole pruner, assembling that, and you can see this has a tiny chain too, not massive like that one, tiny chain, and because it was oiled, as I was putting on, my finger slipped and went whoosh, and actually I scratched myself a little bit there. I think it was this finger here, it went right down in this part, cut about that deep, I think, and I just kind of stood there watching the blood pour out from this. I was like, oh, okay. And then about 45 seconds later, the pain started coming in. I was like, oh, yeah, right, let's not do that again. So bandage it up, and yeah, moral of the story, don't cut yourself on chainsaw chains. It's very fucking painful. But yeah, that's about all I got. Oh, actually, I'll quickly show you. This is from that new chain. This is what we got cutting up that tree. That's the size of the shavings. Oh, flying out. We absolutely all around this tree stump. The tree stump was about, it's a bit wider than this, and we, yeah, I was piling up sawdust like that high. It was ridiculous. I was like, oh god. But yeah, so that's about all I got, really. Yeah, so tell me your thoughts on how you do trimmer line and trimmer heads, what you prefer, what line you prefer. Would you buy this stuff? I'm quite liking it, but yeah, it is pricey for how much you get. Tell me if you've used the Bushranger stuff. Pretty interesting. I called up World Lawn Power Equipment, the local distributor here, and spoke to them this afternoon. Got some prices on their walk behind mowers, and they seem pretty promising, so I'm hoping we can organise something with them at some point. Be pretty cool. And yeah, so that's about all I got for you. I do have more videos coming, as I said. I've just got to find the time to edit them. It's a few days from Easter now. It's what, the 18th of April. So I'm going to go and upload this video quickly. Not going to really edit it, so it's just going to be as is. I'll make another video soon as well. I have got, you guys, if you remember back to one of my last videos was about me handing over my business to another local contractor, or should I hire someone, or what should I do? So I do have, we've got talks in progress for that happening. So likely in the next couple of weeks, around 20 of my customers are going to be going to another local contractor, who's going to basically, I guess under a subcontract sort of idea basis, he's going to look after them for me. And we're working out, you know, how he's going to get paid and what's going to be done. I'm still writing everything up, but that's the idea at the moment. I will make a video if you guys like on that in more detail soon when we get everything finalized. So that does mean I'm not going to be posting as much, obviously, because I'm only going to have a couple that I'll still be looking after. But yeah, so tell me your thoughts on all this. Another request I got was to make a video on how I started. Really simple, well, I think of it. I'm not even going to bother making a separate video. It was just old mate next door came over and said, oh, you know, while I'm busy building my house, can you come mow my lawn? I said, alright. And over I went with my little FS38 and my little handheld blower and mowed his lawn. He liked it, and so he kept going. A couple of other neighbours came over and hired me as well. And yeah, it just built up from there. It's pretty simple, honestly. It doesn't take much to build it up. But yeah, I'm going to quit talking now because it's getting dark and it feels like it's going to rain. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great Easter. Take a bit of a break, rest up. And for those in the US, enjoy your season as it kicks off. And we'll see you in the next video. So, thank you very much for watching and have a great day.